Hello, my name is Lissa and I am a food addict and an alcoholic. Now I know a lot of people may be shocked by that intro statement, but I am a food addict and an alcoholic. I am currently sober and I am a raw vegan. This is my solution to the issues that I had in the past. I have always had problems with food. When I was younger, I would restrict my calories and keep them low so that I remained thin until I hit about the age of 20, where I was going through some stuff in my life and I just started binging on everything. I kind of wanted to change my life. I was in a situation where I wanted to be someone different. I bleached my hair blonde. This is my natural color, but I bleached my hair blonde and I gained so much weight because I was unhappy with where I was in my life. I was eating salt and vinegar chips all over the place and, you know, packaged dinners like those little pasta things. I would eat the entire thing. Lots of fat and lots of refined products. I gained a lot of weight. I was dealing with candida issues at the time. And that is where I started my food addiction problem. The food addiction was suppressed a little bit when I went on a severe anti-candida, low-carb diet for about 9 months. It kept my candida under control, but once I stopped that diet and started increasing my fruits and vegetables, it just came back. It was because I was eating too high fat, but that's a video for another time. Anyways, after that, I had lost a lot of weight, and it just came right back when I started to eat more fat, and you know, those foods just crept back into my life. I was never getting rid of the problem. I was always, you know, putting it off for another day. I would go on a diet for 3 months and then start eating those foods again. I never connected the fact that I needed to actually get rid of those foods out of my life forever until I became a raw vegan. Now, about a year or so before I became a raw vegan, so I would say the year of 2014, I started to become an alcoholic. I was hiding food in my office and I would go out and buy alcohol while my ex-husband was at work, and I would just hide it and I would drink it during the day and I would take the bottles to the depot when he wasn't home. But I drank a lot and I drank enough, and then I would brush my teeth so that you couldn't smell it too much. And I drank mostly in the morning, so it wasn't noticeable in the evening. But then in the evening I would just drink again because I would be able to, or I would time it just perfectly so I would have a drink when he came home. So he thought maybe I had started the evening with a light drink or whatever, but in reality, I was drinking quite a bit. I was also living on energy drinks and I was addicted to everything. I was addicted to caffeine and coffee and energy drinks and Doritos and fast food, and I was just a wreck. I know that I was headed towards some serious illness if I didn't do something. So in 2014, when I decided to become a raw vegan for this last and final time, I gave up alcohol and I also gave up my food addiction. It took about a month to get over, you know, the cravings and the fact that these things weren't in my life to comfort me and cover up the emotions that were coming to the surface. So a lot of stuff was starting to come up and I'd want to have those comfort foods. I'd want my chips, I'd want my alcohol, but I didn't give in. I wanted to maintain my raw veganism, and I'm glad that I did. I'm so grateful that I was able to stick to it this time. And again, that's a video for another time, but I believe it was the low fat and the high carb and always being full that helped me to stay a raw vegan. So for the first little bit as a raw vegan, before I started my YouTube channel, I did have a couple of drinks. I had a sip of champagne at my friend's wedding in Mexico. I had a sip of my ex-husband's father's Italian wine that he made homemade. And I also had a Caesar drink at a restaurant. Again, this is all before I started my YouTube channel, but I had those 3 drinks, and every time that I would have a drink, I felt like I wanted to have more and more and more, and it would comfort me in a certain way, and I didn't want to fall back into that. So the end of August 2015, I pledged with myself to be sober. This was on the day that I ran a half marathon. I was so proud of myself that I decided I was never going to consume alcohol again. And I made the pledge to be sober, and that is why I don't consume alcohol. A lot of people ask me if I still keep alcohol in my diet even though I'm a raw vegan. The answer is no, a complete 100% no. I am sober and will be sober for the rest of my life. I don't plan on ever consuming alcohol again. I have to treat cooked food the same way that I treat alcohol. I have these food addictions, and that's where I want to talk about the food addiction, cooked food part of this. I am not against people eating low-fat, cooked vegan foods. As long as you're not eating animal products, I'm okay if you want to eat cooked food. This is my journey, and I want to be a raw vegan. If anyone wants to follow along, that's totally awesome, but I'm not nitpicking other people's diets. I nitpick my own, and I decide what works best for me. And for me, cooked food does not belong in my diet. If I eat cooked food, I immediately crave more, and I immediately want those foods that I used to eat. I just can't do it. I don't even want to know what my reaction would be if I had, say, steamed broccoli. And this has nothing really to do with the food itself. It's all mental. Because what happens, I know this because this has happened to me so many times from being a raw vegan many, many times in the past and failing after a week. What happens to me is that I start to feel really good as a raw vegan. And then I decide that maybe I can sneak in a little bit of cooked food. I eat this little bit of cooked food, and I don't feel so bad. Maybe I don't really get the reactions that I used to get. Sometimes they're really, really light and I don't notice them too much. And I feel, well, that was okay. It wasn't so bad. And that opens the floodgates for me to just eat something the next day and then something the next day. And then I say, well, the potatoes weren't so bad. Maybe I'll try them with this or that or the other thing. And eventually, before I know it, I'm eating animal products again. I've got cheese on my potatoes and I'm eating fries and pizza. So I can't go there. I know that by just letting myself have that little bit of cooked food, I'm gonna fall off and I'm just going to eat whatever. And this is specific to me because I have these food addictions. I can just eat and eat and eat and eat so much food and so much junk food. I am surprised the amount of stuff that I used to eat. I could eat an entire large pizza all to myself with the dip and with the cheesy bread and pop and then have ice cream after. I was like a bottomless pit. I could just eat and eat and eat. And I know some people can only eat half or a quarter of pizza if they eat pizza, but not me. I just go crazy. And if I used to make potatoes, I would make way more than I could ever possibly eat, but I ended up eating it. And then I would get to the end of the bowl and be like, oh, I'm so full, but I would just keep eating. And I have this psychological issue with eating everything that I have. I gotta clean the plate, and I gotta clean your plate, and I gotta clean your plate too. I gotta eat it all. And it's just, I feel like a bottomless pit and I can't go back there. I love this lifestyle because I can eat a lot of food. I can eat those massive salads, no problem. I just eat and eat and eat and eat, and then I feel satiated because I ate something really good for myself, and I don't feel like a ravenous after because I didn't get any nutrition. So I just can't do it. And a lot of people say, you know, Lissa, are you ever going to stop doing raw? Are you going to start including cooked food in your diet? My answer currently is no. I don't want cooked food. I am so happy with my raw food that I don't actually care for the cooked food. And alcohol doesn't even faze me anymore. I can be around people drinking and getting super drunk and it doesn't bother me at all. This is unique to me. I know some people have issues with it and can't go into a bar or hang out with friends if they're drinking, and that's fine too. You gotta know your limits and what you're okay with. So I wanted to clear this up. People have been asking me a lot if I do drink alcohol and if I will ever eat cooked food again. The answer is no to both. Right now, definitely no for the alcohol. I don't want to say that I'll ever not eat cooked food, but for ever that I can see, I don't want to have cooked food. There have been times that I have, you know, thought about doing an experiment and trying cooked food and seeing how I react to it. But as soon as I start to think about that, I realize that if I eat the cooked food and I feel okay eating the cooked food, it's going to allow me to eat more cooked food, and I know I'm not going to leave it at steamed broccoli. I'm not going to leave it at a baked potato. I'm going to go overboard and I'm going to start eating crackers and chips and bread and all of that other stuff that I know bothers my body. So I just can't go there, and I wanted to share this with all of you. I'm being transparent. I want to be real because a lot of people can resonate with my story. And if you guys like this video, please click like and subscribe to my channel to get notifications for more. You can find me over at Facebook, Lissa's Raw Food Romance. On Instagram, I am at Raw Food Romance. And Snapchat, you can find me and follow me over there at Lissa Raw Vegan. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I feel safe sharing this with you because I'm comfortable with all of you guys, my fans. I feel so loved by you, and I appreciate every single one of you, your comments, your shares, and your hugs and your love. I'm so grateful. Until the next video, guys, mwah, and fruit on.